Hey again, it's Christina from Sunshine and Flora. So we are in the middle of a 4-day long excessive heat warning. And oh my gosh, I don't remember having this much heat and humidity for this many days in a row. So needless to say, I have been going out in the garden very early in the morning, watering, harvesting what I need, and then that is about it. So I have had a lot of indoor time. As if you've been watching my videos, you know I'm also a photographer, so I'm catching up on editing. But what I've been doing this afternoon a little bit is going through some seed orders. And so I thought I'm just going to do a video and I'm going to hop on and share with you guys. So I actually have 2 seed orders I want to share with you. One is from Geo and one is from Floret. But I also have been going through my Geo catalog, and I'm starting a list for my next round of seed ordering of different varieties. So I wanted to share that with you guys. Also, if you've been watching my videos, you know I've been wanting feedback on my audio. How is my audio today? I have a brand new microphone. For those of you that watch on your earbuds, is it coming out of both ears? I'm hoping this microphone solves the problem. So anyway, comment down below and let me know that too. All right, let's just jump into some seed talk. So first of all, most of my seeds that I order, I tend to order in the fall. Through the last few years that I've been doing this flower farming, that has just kind of been the schedule that I've been on because it helps in my planning. But also, if you've been ordering seeds within the last few years, you know that there have been some shortages on some things, and some of the things just run out really quickly with the resurgence of gardening after COVID and during COVID. You know, it's kind of hard to get your hands on some things. So as the season goes along, I like to take notes on what I like and what I don't like and write down ideas for what I want to grow for the next year, for varieties and colors. And so that's basically what I have done. So the Floret order, which I'll go through with you guys, I jumped on her Hardy Annual Seed order. I think it was maybe a few weeks ago. I just got a few things, and so I want to share that with you guys. But my Geo order was actually one order form where I had been taking notes for different varieties I want to grow next year. So I went ahead and placed this order because I thought maybe some of these I would want to start in the fall. A couple of things that maybe I was going to try to overwinter, but then a larger list is what I'm still working on. So I will probably be placing this order maybe the 1st of November, something like that. So anyway, before I share those with you, I did want to share with you, I got some Dawn Creek zinnias. Now, Dawn Creek Farm, they are located, it looks like Santa Cruz, California must be. They do zinnia breeding, and if you watch Flora, you know that she does zinnia breeding, but she has talked about how she's gotten some seeds from Dawn Creek Farm. So I went onto their website, and you can actually donate to their fundraiser for their breeding program, and then they send you a packet of seeds, and I thought that would be super fun. So I received these not to grow this year, but I will be saving them for next year. So I think it was like $50, and this is from their 2022 breeding program. So I will be planting these next year. I'm really excited. They're kind of blushes, peaches, creams, right up my alley for colors. So that is one thing that I'm really excited to plant for next year. But let's go ahead and just open this Floret envelope. I don't even remember everything I ordered. Aw, pretty sunflower postcard. Put that on my bulletin board. Okay, so it looks like in this order I got 9 different items. Oh yes, now I'm remembering. Okay, so a lot of these I think are new things that I have never grown before. Most of them. And I will put pictures up on the screen as I go through everything. So this whole video, you will see pictures of all the varieties. So the first one is a Nigella Love in a Mist. I'm growing Nigella this year for the pods, and I've decided I really like it just as a texture element in bouquets. So I ordered the plum and lime mix. I think it will be the exact amount of seeds I need for next year. I just need a little patch, and I loved that this mix had both the plum and the lime seed pods. So this is checked off my list for next year. I ordered the Pincushion Flower Star Flower. This is another thing that I grew this year for the seed pods. I absolutely love them. You can pick them and put them fresh in bouquets, but they also dry really well. So I want to plant this next year for drying. Then I've never grown sweet peas, and I've been hearing Erin from Floret talk about sweet peas a lot, the low supply of sweet pea seeds all around the world, and I thought it might be fun next year to try to trellis some, especially since I will be adding more garden space again. So I got Sweet Pea Anniversary. I don't know anything about it other than I thought it was very pretty. So I will be trying this in the spring. Now I have 2 bread seed poppies. These also will be grown for the seed pods for that textural element. But I picked a couple of colors that I thought would look pretty in the garden. I picked Frosted Salmon and then the Lilac Peony. Now, do any of you harvest the actual poppy and use it in bouquets, or is it more just totally grown for the seed heads? I've never grown these before, so I don't know. So tell me your thoughts on that, but I'm really excited for those. I have 2 packets of Chinese forget-me-not, Ms. Marilyn. There were 2 colors of the Chinese forget-me-nots that were kind of the bluish purples. This is the more purple versus the blue, and I really thought that this would be a nice accent flower. So I got 2 packets, and I think I'm going to try to sow a couple of successions of those next year. I got the chocolate lace flower, otherwise known as Dara. I grow this every year. Last year, I had trouble getting seed for it because I think when I actually started to order, it was mostly sold out. So I ended up ordering it like over the winter or maybe in the spring, but somehow I sowed it really late in the season, so I finally am getting a harvest off of it. So I wanted to make sure that I had plenty to start right away next year because this is a hardy annual, so I'm able to start it earlier in the spring. And then the last one I got was a cress. It's a Trexa. I've never grown this before. I just thought it looked really great. I have grown cress before, just not this variety. So this will be a new filler to try next year. So those are my Floret seeds. These will go in my plastic bin where I have everything organized and sorted. So that will be the next project on my list. But let's look at this Geo order. So Geo Seeds, again, here is my catalog. I have the Johnny's out also. I do order some things from Johnny's, but they have really good pictures in their catalogs, and their seed packets have a lot of great information. So I had this out just to reference some photos. But Geo, I mean, here's what the pages look like. They must have every variety that you could possibly get. I mean, you look at the Snapdragon page, they have every single kind of every single color. It's just such a great resource. I do not think that you have to have a tax ID number to order, but it's definitely a company more for professionals. So this is where I'm getting a majority of my seeds from this year. It also is really great wholesale prices. So here's my first round. Like I said, I will go through my whole second list after this. And I ordered, maybe 10 to 15 things. And this order, again, I placed early because a couple things, I think Campanula, I was thinking of starting this fall. But I think I actually ordered plugs now to plant this fall from Farmer Bailey. So I just have all these seeds earlier than I thought. So let's just go through these. The first ones look like all Snapdragons. They are listed in the Geo catalog as Antihinum. I totally didn't say that right, but it's their real name. And so I have just 2 in this order. I have a whole list that will be going on this order. But these are the 2 that I knew that I wanted to just go ahead and start my order. So these are 200 seeds in a packet. Maryland Apple Blossom and Purple Twist. I grew Purple Twist this year, and that seed tray died. I missed it on my grow shelf, and it was totally my fault. So I didn't get any Purple Twist this year, so I had to order Purple Twist again. I love the look of that. Okay, so the next 2 are Columbine. I saw this on somebody else's YouTube channel Bloom and Branch or Blossom and Branch. I'll put it up on the screen. She has a great YouTube channel and she grows these columbine. They are not your normal columbines. These are definitely better for cut flowers. They shoot up super tall stems. This is the Barlow Krista mix. And then I also have the Barlow Formula Mix. So the Formula Mix is a mix of all of the Barlows. The Krista, I just picked out one color that I thought might be my favorite, and I will plant more of that. But these are going to be an early bloomer. I am really, really excited to try these. And if I remember right, I think these might be a perennial in my area, which is even better. I have found that any perennials that I can establish in my garden just really helps me out, especially this year when we had a super cold spring and then it got 90 degrees immediately and now we're going through a drought. The perennials were definitely the stronger plants in my garden throughout the year versus the annuals. Okay, so Campanula. I have two colors in this order. They're both the Champion 2. I have lilac and white. And these are the ones that I was thinking of starting earlier and then planting in the fall. Because I have read on Johnny's website, they did a study for Zone 5 in hoop houses where fall planted Campanula in those situations wintered over and were much stronger plants with longer stems. And so I wanted to try this because I am Zone 5A. But like I said, I have ordered plugs now through Farmer Bailey to plant. So these I will just start in the winter and they can be my second succession planting. And then I can compare how they look versus the fall planted ones. The next are Dianthus or Sweet William, and these are very similar to the Amazon Dianthus. I think I planted the Neon Cherry and the Neon Purple this year. Loved them. They have been producing stems for probably 2 months. The first stems definitely were the tallest, but they are still giving me stems that are perfect for my mini bouquets. So I have picked out 3 colors of this type of Dianthus that I want to grow next year. I have the Sweet Coral, the Sweet Purple White, which is the bicolor, and then the Sweet White. And these are all pelleted seeds. So with pelleted seeds, which the Campanula are also pelleted seeds, they're really easy to plant, but you definitely want to use them all at the same time. I have read that they do not hold over into the next growing season as well. Okay, so looks like I also ordered some Nigella from Geo. This is the Albion mix. So I guess I will have more Nigella. Then I ordered some White Finch Orlea. I have a little trouble with the blooms of the Orlea wilting, but I love when the blooms are done and they develop their seed pods. So that is pretty much what I am using the Orlea grandiflora for. Those will be more of the seed pods. And the last one is a Saponaria. I've never grown Saponaria, but Danielle from North Lawn Flower Farm was talking about it in multiple videos this year. I thought it was beautiful and she really loves it. So I thought, you know what, I'm gonna give it a try next year. So this is the Saponaria Beauty White. I think this will be really fun to try. Okay, so those are all of the Geo Seeds that were in that first order. Let's set these aside. Now let's go through the order that I have been working on. And this by any means is not all of the seeds that I will be ordering. I will probably do a full video this winter on my entire 2024 grow list, but these are just some specific varieties that I have been taking notes of throughout this growing season so far. One of the other things that I'm really trying to hone in on are color palettes. And so the last couple years I've been growing lots of different varieties and kind of every color that you could grow. For example, the zinnias, the Benary's Giant. Last year I grew every single color that they offered, which is great because then, you know, all my bouquets, I have multiple colors to offer. And I also can see what the colors actually look like in person versus a catalog picture and decide for myself what I like. For example, I grew the Carmine Rose and the Salmon Rose. I don't need both, and I have found out that I prefer the look of the Salmon Rose. And so next year, I'm crossing the carmine off of my list and I'm only planting the salmon. So, you know, just little tweaks like that, like the wine versus the scarlet. So I'm kind of honing in on my color palettes. Snapdragons is also a big one. I've grown the Potomac mix and the Madame Butterfly mix, and I think that it's just going to be easier to design bouquets and easier to harvest if I have more of one color and fewer colors. It also helps when you're selling to florists to have a ton of one color to offer them instead of a mixed bag, because then it's easier for them to design too. I think that's kind of the vibe that I've gotten. So anyway, let's just go down the list. Again, I'll put pictures up on the screen. And we're going to start with snapdragons. So first on my list, well, one note, all of these are coming from Geo, except I love the Johnny's Early Sunrise mix. That is a mix that I do love, and I grew that this year and I will grow that again next year. That is a mix of kind of corals and oranges and yellows. I just absolutely love that one. So I will be ordering that from Johnny's. But I have 3 Maryland snapdragons that I would like to try. I have the Maryland Lavender, the White, and the Shell Pink. Then I have 3 Potomacs that I'm going to be growing. And with all of these different varieties, they tend to have different bloom times, I think. So the Maryland and the Potomac may not all be blooming at the same time. I do know that those 2 varieties are bred for cut flower growers, and they are known for their very strong stems, which I love. So that is how I'm choosing those varieties also. So I'm doing the Potomac Royal, which I grow every year, which is one of my favorites. It's a really deep purple. I'm doing Cherry Rose, which I love the saturation of that one. And then Potomac Ivory White. I just really love to have a white snapdragon. Now, I'm also doing the Madame Butterfly Bronze with white. That is the one Madame Butterfly that I want to grow next year just because I love the colorings of that one. One other one that is not on my list that I know that I ordered, besides the Bridal Pink that I already ordered, or besides the Apple Blossom that I already ordered, is the Bridal Pink. I just said that. I placed that order with Johnny's, and I think I already got that and put it away. But I've been seeing different flower friends that have planted the Bridal Pink, and I love the colorings on that. So that's one I would like to try next year. So you can see my color palettes are not really reds and, you know, the bright yellows. I'm doing more pinks, peaches, corals, lavender. That's going to be kind of my snapdragon vibe for next year. Okay, so I have 2 of the Eryngiums that I'm going to start from seed next year. These are going to be perennials in my area. One of my flower friends grows these. She grows the white glitter, and I got flowers from her one week because I needed to supplement, and I got 10 stems of this white glitter. It was so cool. I loved it. I have to grow it on my own. So I'm doing the white glitter, and I'm going to be doing the blue glitter next year. Now these seeds are a little more expensive, but it's because they will perennialize in my area, so that is worth it. I will have it from year to year. Okay, stock. Oh, stock is a hard one for me. The last couple years I grew it outside, total fail. This year I had really beautiful seedlings that I started from seed, and I also ordered some stock plugs from Farmer Bailey, and they were all going in my hoop house, which was a really, really great plan. Then we had a really slow start to the spring. The frost wasn't coming out of the ground. I didn't get my hoop house in time, and my stock got planted late and it got too hot. And I have a whole section of stock that's still growing out in the hoop house that has yet to flower. I don't know if it will this fall when it gets cool. It looks great, so I'm not tearing it out, but this was my 3rd year and I still didn't have a total success. I had some blooms, but not like I should have. I have been making notes on the varieties that I want to grow for next year, and I have 5 of them. So I'm doing the stock Cott's High Double White, which is, I think, 90% doubles. And if you're selling to florists, they want the doubles versus the singles. If you do market bouquets, you can use either, but the doubles are definitely more desirable. So it's easier when you can grow a variety like this high double, because you don't have to call out your seedlings to get the doubles because there's such a high percentage. So the Cott's High Double White is on my list. Vintage Brown is on my list. That's probably on everyone's list. It's absolutely beautiful. I'm growing the Iron Marine and the Iron Rose, which I grew this year. I grew the Iron Marine and the Iron something else that was similar, and I decided I like the Marine better. Rose is a beautiful color. And then I'm going to try a Quartet variety because it's a branching variety. Now, everybody talks about the Quartet rainbow stock. I have never been able to get my seeds on that variety. I'm going to keep trying, but I'm going to try the Quartet apricot and see if that will bloom all season long like everyone says the Quartet rainbow do. Next is Status. Now, last year I did the same thing with Status as I did Zinnias, and I grew every single color. And this year I grew less than every single color. Well, next year I'm only going to grow 4 colors. I know what colors I like. So I'm going to grow the Status Seeker White, Seeker Blue, the Pastel, QIS Pastel, and the QIS Apricot. I think Apricot's my favorite. But those are the 4 colors that I'm going to be growing of the Status. Okay, and the last flowers that I have really been taking notes on this year are zinnias. Zinnias is one of my main crop flowers, other than sunflowers, and now that my dahlias are starting, those are going to be coming on thick. But zinnias is one that I really rely on probably mid-July all the way till frost. I am having a horrible problem, if you guys have been seeing my videos, I've talked about it, of corn rootworm beetles. I have a problem every year with them. We're surrounded by cornfields. I'm in the northwest Iowa, and so usually they arrive in August. This year with the drought, they arrived in July, and they just decimate the flowers. And so I literally go around my zinnia patch every day with my bucket of soapy water and try to knock them off to drown them. But they're just out of hand. I also am right across the street from our elevator, so everyone takes their corn to the elevator, and apparently all the corn rootworm beetles fly over to my garden. But anyway, I'm not giving up on zinnias. So I do think that maybe planting 1 or 2 or 3 successions of zinnias is probably needed next year. Because my big patch is starting, I can tell it's starting to fizzle out a little bit. Anyway, the zinnias for the Bennery's Giant that I'm growing next year, I've narrowed it down to 6 colors. I probably will plant more, but these are the 6 main colors I want to grow. The Salmon Rose, I think it's my absolute favorite. And you know, the Salmon Rose, I can see that pairing very well with these Dawn Creek zinnias. So I can't forget that I have these. I'm planting all of these next year, but then I will have all the ones on this list also. The Wine, love that color. Lilac. I'm doing the Golden Yellow. Not as many because I tend to like the paler yellow better. There is the Creamy Yellow Giant Dahlia, which is a paler yellow. I will be growing that next year, but I do still want to do some of the golden yellow ones. I'm going to do the Bennery's Giant White and the Bennery's Giant Pink. Now, in addition to those, I also grow the Queen Lime zinnias, and I've grown all the colors of those, and I think I'm going to narrow it down next year as well. I definitely want to do the Queen Lemon Peach. I did not grow that this year, and I really wanted to try it, so I'm going to try that for next year. I love the Queen Lime Orange, and I also love the Queen Lime Red because you get all the mauve tones. And so I think those will be the 3 colors of the Queen Lime series that I grow next year. And then I have some Cresto zinnias that I want to try. These are available, again, through Geo Seeds. I don't know that Johnny's offers them, but they kind of have the top poofiness similar to the Zinderellas, but I think they're a bigger flower, I think. I have 3 colors of the Cresto that I want to try. I have the Peaches and Cream, I have the Cream, and the Violet. So I am really excited for all of those color schemes next year. I think that all of my color palettes are really going to mesh together well, and I think it's really going to work when I'm designing my bouquets versus having every single color of every single variety. Okay, so that is my list so far this season of what I'm going to be ordering for seeds. Now I do have I call it my yes to plant list for 2024. These are all of the varieties that I'm going to be planting, and since I have this out, I'll just read through it with you guys. But once I get, probably to frost, then I will go through this entire list and I will get all of the varieties noted from this entire list that I want to order for seeds. But since I have it out, I'll just read it to you guys. So my early spring hoop house plan: ranunculus, anemone, stock, campanula, snapdragons, feverfew. Now feverfew is a perennial in my area, so that will overwinter, so I don't have to plant that next year. That will already be there. Ranunculus and anemone are corms, and then the other ones are seeds. The campanula will be planted this fall. The stock and the snapdragons will be planted in there probably mid-March. Okay, spring in ground. Lisianthus, I will be ordering plugs of those. Snapdragons, yarrow. Yarrow's a perennial in my area, but this will be additional yarrow I'm planting. Bupleurum, I will order plugs. More feverfew. Bells of Ireland, I will order plugs. Dianthus, straw flower. Fama, white and blue pincushion flowers. Dara, Ami, bachelor buttons, yellow chamomile. And a lot of those are hardy annuals, you will notice. Bulbs, which I will plant this fall. Daffodils already are in the ground. I'm adding a few extra. Leucojum, is that how you say that? I'm ordering some of those. And then tulips, of course. I have thousands of tulips coming. And all my summer planted flowers: dahlias, zinnias, statice, celosia, rudbeckia, mountain mint. I have this growing in the garden and I have yet to harvest from it, but I love how it's looking. Cresspedia, cosmos. I need more cosmos in my life. I'm going to change that for next year. Honeywort, sunflowers, of course, that I do successions of all summer long. Amaranth, starflower. I have celosia filler. Oh, I have a celosia that barely gets any flowers on it, but it pretty much grows into this big shrub of purple foliage. I love it. That's what I mean by that. Cress, the white and blue glitter, sea holly, and then mahogany splendor hibiscus. I have that growing. That's a good fall foliage. I love that too. Okay, so I have been rambling forever, so I'm going to cut this video off, but I just thought that this would be a really fun thing to share with you guys, since this is kind of what I'm diving into now and will be more probably in 4 to 6 weeks. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this planning video. Again, it's super hot outside. So I just thought that this would be a really fun thing to share with you guys, and maybe it'll be helpful as you guys are jumping into your planning once frost approaches too. So I hope you're all having a good growing season, and stay tuned for a lot more. Our frost isn't till October, so I have a good month and a half hopefully left of growing. So anyway, stay tuned for all that. We'll see you soon.